Who is the target, who's at risk, and who's looking out for us when police are chasing criminals on our streets?
Those are just some of the questions among so many others after a shootout on the I-17. We're following up on this Monday shooting, still stunned by this video showing officers and troopers unloading on a truck during rush hour. Bullets flying. Amazingly, no drivers we know of were hurt. And today, the head of DPS and ABC 15's lead investigator Dave Biskobing went one-on-one in a tense interview about what happened.
In our interview, Colonel Frank Milstead shared significant new details about what led his troopers to make a move on an armed suspect on the freeway in the middle of rush hour. And our interview turned tense when asked if those actions put unnecessary risk on innocent people.
I am incredibly thankful that this happened the way it did and no one got hurt.
DPS Director Colonel Frank Milstead stands by his troopers. That is clear. And Milstead laid out the reasons why his troopers had to spin out the suspect's truck when and where they did.
And I would tell you that I think it was incredibly heroic what he did and incredibly proper.
First reason, police began following the suspect because he was seen with the gun. Second, Milstead says the suspect briefly exited the freeway and tried to commit a crime.
Again, this is preliminary. He had tried to either carjack or kidnap a woman that was there. So we could see his level of activity, his propensity for violence continue to escalate.
And back on the freeway, his trooper saw an opportunity and took it.
At that moment, the trooper knew that he had had a traffic break behind him, that stop sticks were set up ahead of him, and that this would be a good opportunity to make sure that he controlled where this happened and not the bad guy.
You said there was a traffic break behind?
Correct.
We have video of people driving right up on the police there, so...
Well, there's some people that got around the break, there's no doubt. But that's, you can only get people to do what you can get people to do. Sometimes people don't pay attention and they don't stop.
But this dashcam video obtained by ABC 15 does not appear to show that. It shows the suspect's truck here passed by many drivers, with several troopers passing by, none with lights or sirens on. Only one momentarily flashes their lights. None appear to weave slowly back and forth to create the safe distance known as a traffic break. Many cars, including this one, drive right up on the shootout, right as it erupts.
The only thing that should have happened with this shootout on Monday was people should have stood up and applauded and said, thank you for getting this madman off the road before he killed my son, my daughter, my wife, my husband, because he was going to kill somebody.
But in the other side, people are going to say, you choose to do a pit maneuver on the freeway at rush hour with a guy you knew might be very dangerous and was ready to shoot, and then bullets from your troopers and Mesa police officers flew into oncoming traffic. So, I mean, I don't think anybody would doubt that this guy was dangerous and ready to kill a police officer, but that's the question here. Why right then? What was he doing that needed it right then and there instead of the stop sticks or a point where perhaps traffic was more controlled than it was?
I think we covered that. This was where they felt it was the best place. But it's nothing that we're going to talk about today. I mean, I don't have that answer for you 5 days later. I mean,
okay. You just had talked about some of his actions before, and I was wondering if those are the actions you described what required the pit at that moment, at that time, which then led to the shooting on a freeway at rush hour.
Dave, obviously by the questioning, you personally have an issue with this and don't like it. I can't help you with that. I can only tell you what they did and the decisions they made. And I think that the officers that were out there from Mesa PD, the troopers from my agency, they did what they thought was appropriate at the moment.
To be clear, this isn't about me. It's about you and your safety. It's our job to ask questions, especially when bullets fly on the freeway in rush hour from automatic weapons. And however you perceive this, we believe you deserve answers. And that's why we're going to keep asking questions. Dave Biskobing, ABC 15, Arizona.